Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe the best stories are the ones shared over a glass of wine or a cocktail. Each week, I sit down with women who've said yes to building something meaningful, often after years of putting everyone else first. We talk business, big dreams, and the mess in between. And of course, a few favorite drinks. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. Hello, friends, and welcome to a very special episode of Penny for Your Shots. I can hardly believe I'm saying this, but this is episode 100. That's right, 100. When I hit publish on that very first episode back on November 2nd, 2023, I had no idea the adventure I was stepping into. Honestly, I only wish I hadn't waited so long to start. Talking with brilliant women, sharing their stories, hearing about their favorite cocktails, and creating this space for us to learn and laugh together has been one of my greatest joys. So today we're celebrating. We're going to look back at some memorable moments with past guests, share some of the biggest lessons I've learned along the way, and raise a glass to what's still to come. Over these 100 episodes, I've had the privilege of sitting down, virtually of course, with women whose brilliance has inspired me in ways I could never have imagined. Like my conversation with Kami Guildner. Kami reminded us that when women raise our voices, the ripple effect can reach far beyond what we'll ever know. She talked about how sharing your story isn't just about you. It's about the lives you'll impact without even realizing it. She reminded me that it's okay to take up space, to be seen and heard. Gray hair, wrinkles, expanding body, and all. That conversation gave me goosebumps then, and it still does now. Then there was Larissa Banting. Her episode, Pivot, Pitch, Repeat, is one I still go back to. Larissa showed us that reinvention isn't failure, it's courage. She's a Canadian who started a wedding photography business for destination weddings in Costa Rica. Then she added travel services for the wedding party and guests, and pivoted again when she realized someone she hired to manage part of the business was embezzling from her. She's proof that you don't have to stick to one path forever. You can pivot, try again, and pitch yourself for the life and business you want, as many times as it takes. And from whatever position you're in, you can pick yourself up and reinvent yourself and your business. Your experience and your gifts can never be taken away from you. Frankie Elder Reedy's episode stays with me for another reason. She shared so powerfully how women are often taught to avoid victimization instead of fighting for justice and for change. We're told to keep quiet, that boys will be boys, and that's just the way it is. We're taught to protect ourselves by staying in groups, not dressing too sexy, not being too loud, not being too much. We're taught to keep ourselves safe. I really hope in my lifetime we shift the conversation from expecting women and girls to protect themselves from being harassed and worse, to raising expectations of men and boys and everyone to not be people we need protection from, to expecting our sons and brothers to speak up when they see the injustices happening. That insight and thinking about the conversation hit me hard. And it reminded me why these conversations matter so much. Because women's voices and experiences need to be heard, raw and real. It was out of her experiences that she developed a product, a sports bra that stops the bounce, to keep us comfortable and to keep us safe. Remember Shirah Benarde? She went on Shark Tank with her product, which was developed to protect women from being drugged without their knowledge. The nightcap is a scrunchie that doubles as a drink topper. She's marketing the product to college campuses and bars around the world and keeping all of us a little bit safer. Then there was Liz Hansen. Liz and I talked about how perfection is a myth. She dropped the quote, "Sexy is not a size." And we talked about how so many of us are uncomfortable in our own bodies. How so many of us hate the vessel we spend our entire lives in. We talked about how to change that with self-care, treating ourselves well, and listening to our intuition. We talked about how you have to follow your own path and heart. Her friends and family discouraged her from starting a photography business, nearly everyone around her except her husband. And today, she has one of the most successful photography studios in the Chicago area. And of course, I can't forget Sara Vasenchek. Our conversation was one of those where the alignment was so strong, we could have talked for hours. Sada reminded us that building a life that feels aligned with your values is far more important than chasing someone else's definition of success. As a little girl, she had dreams. And back in the day when she was working as a waitress and would hang out after shifts with her friends who were fellow waitstaff, they would share their dreams for the future. 10 years later, many of them still had the same dreams and the same job waiting tables at the very same restaurant. I'm sure we all have examples of people in our lives who have had dreams and let life get in the way. It's sad to me, but a reminder to not get so caught up in the busyness of life that we don't move toward our purpose. And if you've been here a while, you know Angel Wilburn has popped in more than once. She's funny, brilliant, and real. And who can forget the truth bombs that come from her third grader? That's the beauty of these conversations. It's not always polished, but it's always real. And then, of course, there's the joy of wine camp. Those episodes are some of my favorites because they capture the courage, the laughter, and yes, the silliness of women just showing up as we are. I'll never forget the caftailing video where we were strutting in our pajamas and caftans at a tasting room in Virginia, like we were on a Paris runway. All the while, the 12-year-old recording it was cringing and saying, "This is so awkward." That moment was fun, freeing, and apparently for everyone but us, a little awkward. And that's exactly what made it perfect. We were living in the moment and celebrating each other and our friendships. Looking back at 100 episodes, I've learned a few things. And if you've been with me for any of this journey, you know I can't keep those lessons to myself. First, don't wait to be ready. You'll never be ready until you start. Action brings clarity. You become ready by doing the thing, not by waiting and planning forever. That busyness of life, it can get in the way so easily. It's just our nervous system keeping us safe and stuck in comfort. If we don't move out of that and toward our older, wiser selves, we don't grow and we don't serve others. What's your purpose? Have you sat still long enough to hear it calling? Are you following it? Do just one thing every day that moves you forward, something that serves someone else. Doesn't have to be big. Small acts build momentum. Second, don't let how you look stop you from showing up. I can't tell you how many times I thought, I don't like how I look on camera. And at one point I even thought, I'll just lose 20 pounds first and then I'll start. See how that worked out. But here's the deal. People don't care. They care about your voice, your perspective, your heart. Get over yourself. Your impact matters way more than your ego. Third, don't worry about making it perfect. The content is what counts. Ask yourself, will this help someone? Will it lift someone up? If the answer is yes, get it out there. Done is better than perfect 100% of the time. Another biggie, automate whatever you can. Podcasting taught me really quickly that if I don't systemize some of the work, I'll spend all of my energy on the behind the scenes stuff instead of the meaningful work that serves others. I've also learned success takes time, longer than you think. So be prepared to keep showing up even when it feels like it's taking forever or like nothing's working. And don't prejudge a guest. Some of my most impactful conversations have come from women whose industries and careers are nothing like my own. Staying curious has opened doors to perspectives that surprised and inspired me. Here's another one. Women are creating the most incredible outside-of-the-box careers. They're using their gifts in unique ways to serve others, and that inspires me daily to keep asking, what's my unique way of serving? What's yours? And finally, the lesson that ties all of this together. When women use our gifts and come together in support of one another, we are unstoppable. I've seen it again and again through this podcast, and it's the reason I'll keep showing up. So here we are, 100 episodes. I'm so grateful for every guest who said yes, for every listener who has tuned in on their commute or while folding laundry or sipping a glass of wine. I'm so grateful for the conversations, the laughter, the tears, and the lessons. This podcast has reminded me that your voice matters. My voice matters. Our stories matter. So today, I'm raising my glass to you, to the brilliant women who keep me inspired, and to the community we're building together. Thank you for being here, for sharing these moments with me, and for reminding me every single week why I love this work so much. Here's to the next 100 episodes. Cheers, friends. That's a wrap on this episode of Penny for Your Shots. If you loved today's conversation, don't let the inspiration stop here. Get my weekly insider updates straight to your inbox. It's where I spill behind-the-scenes goodies, exclusive tips, and all the fun stuff I don't always share on the podcast. Sign up now at pennyforyourshots.com/insider. I'll see you in your inbox next Thirsty Thursday. Cheers!